When someone, let's say a designer, is choosing a typeface, they usually need a palette of options. As a type designer, answering to that need, you can explore different styles, weights, or widths. The design space, it feels infinite. At Practica, we recognize the importance of planning a typeface and structuring the weights or styles. Also, we discuss the best strategy for creating new styles for your typeface. First of all, we need to define what are the uses and specific reading environments for our typeface. But we also need to consider how much time we have available to develop the project. Once we understand the typeface intended use, we prioritize the expansion work, focusing the effort where it's most needed. So to start the task of expanding from one typeface to a family typeface, we need to understand our axis. Our axis could be a weight axis from a thin to a black master, or it could be a width axis from a condensed to an expanded. We also need to understand and define our masters, like here, it could be from a thin to a bold. We need to define our instances, or what we call these are the intermediate steps. Mostly important, we need to understand what interpolation is. As we like to say at Practica, no, interpolation it's like magic, but for fonts. So interpolation is a mathematical means of creating intermediate instances from two or more sets of data. In this case, the data refers to the weight or to the style of a typeface. For example, imagine that you drawn a thin and a bold master. Yes, these two weights of your typeface, and you plan to create a medium or an irregular weight too. So instead of drawing those regular and medium by hand, you could use the data you already have in the thin and in the bold master and let the computer automatically figure out the drawings for the regular and the medium. So the automatic part here is what we call interpolation. So masters are what you draw. In this case, you can see you have three masters, a thin, a medium, and a bold. And to interpolate, a typeface must have at least two. It can have more, but at least it needs to have two masters drawn. Instances or styles are what the computer calculates. So they are the output, the exported result of the interpolation. So these are organized in the font info in the tab export. In this case, because I'm using glyphs, but this depends on the font editor you use. So how to make it bolder, no? How do the letters grow, or how the stroke grows, and what's happening with the spacing? This is some of the questions that we raise at Practica. The answers depends. They always depend on the project. So, but what we always recommend is starting with a few glyphs and letting the imagination run wild. So we always suggest to expand them a little bit more than you planned. So experience how far you can take your designs and always have fun doing that. Font editors and automated interpolation makes a free exploration so effortless that it can be easy to miss details in between because you just press a button and this generates dozens of instances, and it's easy sometimes to waste time on work that won't be used. So we focus our efforts on needs of the project. A typeface, for instance, for books or long text, probably needs a design space between book, regular or medium styles and bold or maybe semi-bold. But perhaps it will not need a thin or a black styles. On the other hand, if you want to expand display typeface, the requirements probably will change. Um, I don't know, it is for headlines, branding, or packaging. You will have another strategy to expand that typeface. So planning is integral to our process. Understanding the most important uses and selecting the styles of your design space and carefully defining those best strategies. These are the keys to expanding. So at Practica, we balance the ambition with time because it's all too tempting to add several axes or masters to our project, spending years instead of weeks. So we focus the expansion efforts on your typeface instead of your project timeline.